In the last crypto bull run, there was a particular coin that my big brother futurist Kwame made us invest in. It was called Veracity. So I invested $100 and I made $10,000 from that particular coin at the peak of the last bull run in the crypto market. And I liquidated my money and I bought a car with it. Now guys, when I bought the car, I had this very good friend of mine who was very close to me. So he's very close to me, oh people, and he had seen how that I invested $100 and had made $10,000 from the market with just that. And in crypto, I always say timing and time in. Timing, Timing, and time in, Time-hyphen-in, is very, very important. So before I bought this car of mine, I kept telling this friend of mine, that guy, I believe that there's a new way of making money on the internet and it has to do with cryptocurrency. I've been brought into that knowledge for quite some time now. The first time I heard about cryptocurrency, I was in university second year. If you have read my first book, The Entrepreneur's Journey, an Ideal Startup Guide, you will actually know about that story because I touched briefly on that story in that book. But I kept telling this friend of mine, and one thing he kept telling me, oh, MBA, I'm preparing. Oh, MBA, me buame waba. Oh, MBA, I'm preparing. I had another friend of mine who runs a clothing business, doing amazingly well. And then I reached out and I said, brother, there's an opportunity to make money in the crypto space. And as soon as I told him, he was like, you know what, share a few things about it with me, and then let me make a quick decision and let me get back to you. I shared, and in a matter of 3 weeks, he was like, you know what, I think I want to invest some money into this. I don't have much, but let's start off with this $1,000 and let's see what it leads to us. Guys, today's episode on the Millionaire Minds Mastery series, rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. I take it again, rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. Whereas the rich man is looking at things from a potential gain, the poor person is looking at things from a potential loss. Whereas the rich man is looking at this from a risk appetite gain perspective, this person is looking at it from a risk appetite loss perspective. It distinguishes the rich person from the poor. The rich man is looking at things from a profit perspective. The poor man is looking at things from a loss perspective. I always say that when it comes to the rich and the poor, the rich, they look at things through a different lens. They look at things from an opportunistic perspective, and the poor person looks at things from an obstacles perspective. And you see, predominantly, the problem is the mind. The problem is the mind. Whenever you present an opportunity to someone, if you want to know if the person is rich or poor in mind, watch how they respond and react to that opportunity. So you see, whereas the poor person is looking at things from, hey, what if it doesn't go, or hey, this thing, what if it fails? The rich man is not looking at things from that perspective. No, not at all. Whenever you present something to someone and the person is always like, hey, Nadia, hey, this thing, this thing is a scam, hey, this. And I always say, it is only in Africa that when you present something to someone, the first disposition the person will say is a scam. And interestingly, the person doesn't, when you think about it, the person has nothing that you even scam them off. And when you actually think about it, the people who are saying it's a scam will never pin their bottom down and say that I want to be a diligent student. The Bible did not say that we should speak to show ourselves approved. He said we should study. It is only by studying that you can show yourself approved of any subject matter. And that is the reason why your ignorance on money and matters concerning money can cost you. And so look at the poor person. He will say something is a scam, and that is it. Oh, this thing, I don't think it will go well. And that's it. They do not go back, and then if you said it was a scam and you even do your due diligence and study, it's a different thing. Guys, this friend of mine sat down, watched me buy a car from the same market, and he was still telling me he was preparing. We're in another bull run. I reached out to him a couple of weeks back and I said, bro, I know you are liquid. You've made a few sales on a few of the things that you're doing. I think that it's time to throw about $1,000 in this thing. He said, Mo, I'm still preparing. And then I just told one of my friends, I said, in this bull run, when we make millions of dollars from this market, this person will still be preparing. It is one of the clear differences between the rich and the poor. Whereas the rich do not spend a lot of time in making decisions. The poor person will spend forever. And you see, this is the difference. The poor person thinks that he must understand everything fully in order to arrive at a decision. It's true that in life, when you approach everything with common sense, you produce common results. I understand that foundational thing. However, the rich man, if he wants to take a decision, he takes it quick, but he will still learn on the go. What happens is that all he needs is to understand at most the basic framework of what he's investing his money into, or what the opportunity looks like in terms of returns and all of those things. So for instance, if you're doing a real estate project and then you take it to a poor person, the poor person will say, hey, and you can make a far way, and the poor person will give you all the reasons why it is an obstacle. But the rich person will look like, okay, what's your drawing? What is it looking like? How many sellable spaces? How many non-sellable spaces per square meter? Okay, let's calculate. If per square meter for a studio is $500, when we do the calculation on the market, it's going to sell at $1,200. So your construction cost is going to be 35 to 36 square meters for a studio apartment times $500. We know your construction cost for one studio. Then we multiply by the number of studios in the apartment that you are building. Then okay, on the sellable market side, on the market is selling for $1,200 per square meter. So when we calculate this, that this is and this and this and this is the profit mark, the rich man, all he needs to know are these things, and then instantly he will know in a matter of days whether to take a decision or not. But for the poor person, he will keep preparing. And if care is not taken, he can keep preparing till Jesus comes. The rich person, he focuses on opportunities. The poor person, he focuses on obstacles. And like I said, this is a mind thing. I want you to go back to your life audit and your financial blueprint auditing scheme and decide from today that you will be somebody who will look at things from a different lens. See, in life, whatever thing you focus on expands. And so if you look at things always from a negative perspective, you will always get negative feedbacks and negative results, ultimately building a certain negative aura and a negative energy around you. And what will happen? The effect and the results and the actions that will manifest will be negative. And so this is something that I need you to do. Build a rich mindset. Decide to look at things always from an opportunistic point of view. When I was in Kenya lastly, I had an interview with Radio R. Shouts to my team, my family and my people at Radio R, Roy and G. You guys were simply amazing. I enjoyed the interviews with you guys, Roy and G. Big shouts to you guys on this one. And so I remember that G was asking me a question. She says, MBA, since you've been in Kenya, what's it that you don't love about Kenya? And I said, G, my mind doesn't work that way. I don't come into spaces looking out for the things that are wrong in the space, and that's how I've been wired over a period of time. So G is saying, is there something that you don't like? Of course, there are a few things that you may be upset about, but my focus has never been on the wrong things. I'm rather enjoying the beautiful, diverse culture, the real estate market in the place. I'm looking out for the opportunities and the gaps in the real estate market. I'm looking out for opportunities and the gaps in the speaking industry. I'm looking out for opportunities. I'm not looking out for obstacles, else I'm not going to be fruitful. And so this is something that I need you to go and do. Get out there and decide that you are going to be the guy who looks at things from a different lens, from a positive perspective and not from a negative perspective, from an opportune perspective and not from an obstacle perspective, from a reward perspective and not from a loss perspective. I hope that this content has blessed you. Like, subscribe, and share. My name is Moses B. Arthur. Like I always say, love and light to you guys. Cheers.